Science, and I more so relate to medical science in this case, is a marvellous tool in the world with all that is able to be done scientifically. But it is only a tool. It is not the law, because scientific process rules cannot be the law. And science, medical science in this case, is a self-confessed godless entity which really needs to turn toward the profound knowledge of God, rather than that science should remain in bondage to its self-imposed limitations that reject the profound knowledge of God by which the honourable and royal meaning and purpose of law is understood. And science, you are not truth, but simply accumulated knowledge expansion. For truth, in its royal meaning, is of God. And when I speak of God, I'm not relating to the naivety of understanding associated with God, nor religious ignorance associated with God. Those who use, or I should say, misuse science in trying to promote that science is law in this world, and I'm relating this communication relative to the world level. As I was saying, science in this world being considered as being the law by those who conduct themselves in this way of thought, do not understand the honourable principles of manhood that connect with the royal purpose of law. And the royal purpose of law connected with the righteous knowledge of truth that is of God. Those who try to make science in this world the law prove by their actions as such that they have not reached manhood, whereby to understand the honourable principles of manhood, and henceforth are considered from the point of righteousness as being boys not of manhood, yet assumed to lead and promote, or seek to promote, that science is the law. As I've said, science is not the law, and science is not truth, but simply accumulated knowledge expansion, as I have said. Nevertheless, science is a magnificent tool in this world, in the many things that are able to be and have been accomplished under this name. But the royal word of knowledge that seeks to come into this world, meaning the righteous and honourable purpose of truth, far transcends the knowledge of all sciences. For it is science, in fact, that seeks to understand what the royal purpose of truth is really all about. And it is within the royal purpose and knowledge of truth that, as I have said, is not of man nor his technology, but of God, but that the royal purpose of truth contains within it of the profound knowledge of God all the true and honourable answers sought in this world, as relative to the royal purpose of law that far, far transcends man's assumed knowledge of law by the learned, who still do not understand, and I'm speaking worldwide and relative to prominent leaders within this world, among all nations, including science, does not understand. Man does not understand the royal purpose of truth and the honourable principles of manhood by which leadership in this world is meant to be conducted, relative to the honourable meaning of freedom and liberty and joy among one another. And this is where science falls short, in not understanding these honourable principles that connect with the honourable principles of manhood, that connect with the royal purpose of law, that connects with the royal knowledge of God, going all the way back to the 10 Commandments of the law, which themselves are not even understood properly as yet, simply because tradition, seeking to call itself law in this world, does not understand the law that tries to come into this world from what I will call the holy and righteous throne of God. And thus did the Messiah, Yeshua, come into this world to try to wake this world up back in those times. But the knowledge that was with him, which I am relating to here, was rejected by those who preferred that the traditions of man were the law and are the law, which is why man continually stumbles in his spiralling direction downhill, because, and I will use this word respectfully, his arrogance causes him, through not understanding the honourable principles of manhood that connect with the royal purpose of law, his arrogance causes him to seek to remain in the thrones that he sits in. And I'm speaking of all nations. And by which, when royal knowledge tries to come into this world, it upsets those who assume to be worthy of their thrones, who do not understand the righteous and honourable meaning of truth, and whereby this knowledge becomes rejected by man and his arrogance. Now I will add a little more to this. It is known within the royal purpose and meaning of law that it is against the royal purpose of law to call or accuse an innocent person as being guilty of a crime for being healthy in not having a virus problem. Now this can easily be understood by those who are respectful toward the righteous purpose of law, and who connect with, thereby, to honourable principles of manhood, by which this that has just been said can be understood with clarity. Those who are against what has just been said prove that they have not reached manhood. For those of manhood who are close to the honourable principles of manhood will be glad of this communication, and this communication relates to and connects with, I will put it that way, I'll put it this way I should say, John 16 verse 14, in the old book of these and thous, and not the modern versions, which in many cases have even been deliberately distorted in meaning. And even though things have been left out of the old King James Version, nevertheless, it is still a reference that still retains some strong degree of accuracy in places that distortions these days cause to become lost by those learned who do not understand the honourable principles of manhood that are connected with the royal purpose of law and the righteous meaning of truth, by which this knowledge that I speak of is known, and that within the righteous meaning of truth it is known and seen the great distortions that take place against the Word of God. As I've said, I will sign this as John 16 verse 14. And the Spirit of truth.